Many situations in our day-to-day life can be answered by using the two fundamental operations, addition and subtraction. Let's explore some properties of this operation for integers in this module. Let's start with the closure property. If we add two whole numbers, what do we get? If we add two whole numbers, their sum is always a whole number. Now, we have to check whether this property is true for integers or not. Closure under addition. If we add two integers, what do we get? Let's try. 3 plus 2 equals 5. We get an integer. Next, negative 3 plus 2 equals negative 1. We get an integer. Let's try another one. 3 plus negative 2 equals 1. We get an integer. Last, negative 3 plus negative 2 equals negative 5. We also get an integer. For any two integer a and b is equal to c, which is an integer. Therefore, the sum of two integers is always an integer. Commutative property. 5 apples plus 3 apples equal to 3 apples plus 5 apples. Therefore, a plus b is equals b plus a. This is what we call commutative property. By changing the order of two things, the end result doesn't change. Let's check it out with an integer. Commutative property. What will happen if we change the order of integers when we add? Example, negative 7 plus 9 equals 2 is same as 9 plus negative 7 equals 2. Next, negative 10 plus negative 5 is equals negative 15 is same as negative 5 plus negative 10 is equals negative 15. Next, 100 plus negative 125 is equals negative 25 is same as negative 125 plus 100 is equals negative 25. Remember, if we change the order of integers, their sum remain the same. Associative property. Example, 9 cell phones plus 9 iPods plus 4 laptops equals 9 cell phones plus 9 iPods plus 4 laptops. If we add three numbers together, the sum remains the same even if we carry out the first addition first or the second addition first. Then, a plus b into the bracket plus c is equals a plus b plus c into the bracket. This is known as associative property of the whole number. Let's check it out for the integer. Associative property. What will happen if we add three integers together? Example, negative 3 plus 9 into the bracket plus negative 6. First, we add negative 3 plus 9, which is equal to 6. Then, 6 plus negative 6 equals 0. Is same as if we first add 9 plus negative 6, which is equal to 3. Then, negative 3 plus 3 is equals 0. We got the same answer even if we change its groupings. Next example, 6 plus negative 7 plus 5 into the bracket. Negative 7 plus 5 is equal to negative 2. 6 plus negative 2 is equals 4. Is the same as 6 plus negative 7 into the bracket plus 5. 6 plus negative 7 is equals negative 1. Negative 1 plus 5 equals 4. We got the same answer. What happened when we changed the grouping in adding the integers? The word associative comes from associate or group. It means changing the grouping of the numbers that are either being added does not change its value. Therefore, if a, b, and c are any three integers, then a plus b, open and close parentheses, plus c equals a plus b plus c, open and close parentheses. Identity property. What will happen if we add 0 to a whole number? If we add 0 to any number, the sum is the number itself. 0 is the additive identity of a whole number. Let's check if 0 is also additive identity of integers. What will happen if we add 0 to an integer? Example, 8 plus 0 equals 8. Negative 9 plus 0 equals negative 9. 0 plus negative 15 equals negative 15. The sum is the number itself. 0 is the additive identity of an integer. Remember, if we add 0 to any integer, the sum is the number itself. If a is any integer, then a plus 0 equals 0 plus a equals a. Inverse property. Inverse property. What will be added to an integer to get its identity element that is 0? 6 plus blank equals 0. The additive inverse of the number a is negative a. Therefore, the additive inverse of 6 is negative 6. 6 plus negative 6 equals 0. What will be added to an integer to get its identity element that is 0? It states that the sum of any number and its additive inverse is 0. All this property about addition of integers, there is only one property that is applicable in subtraction of integers, and it is closure property. Let's see if this property is true in subtraction of integers. Closure property in subtraction of integers. If we subtract two whole numbers, what do we get? If we subtract two whole numbers, their difference is always a whole number. Let's try it out. If we subtract two integers, what do we get? Example, negative 6 plus negative 4 equals negative 10. We get an integer. Next, 30 minus negative 26 equals 56. We get an integer. Notice that the answer in both cases is an integer, so we say that it follows the closure property during subtraction as well. Therefore, if a and b is any integer, then a minus b is an integer. Thank you for listening. To better understand the properties of addition and subtraction in the set of integers, you can refer to the additional resources of this module.